You are now tuned in to DameSmiff.
Welcome to Musician Talks with DameSmiff, and I'm here to talk to you guys today about what is a fan? What makes a fan? And today I want to make sure that you guys like, share, subscribe, and share this video and any other videos I have like this with people you know are interested in the music industry. They want to become musicians, have an appreciation for musicianship, or general artists and creatives alike who want to learn more about how to take control of their career as a creative. And like I said, today we're going to talk about what is a fan. Um, Fans are typically the people that we call upon to either react, respond, or review a product or service that we have going on. In the creator economy, it's more like our customer. And there's different levels to fans. Um, I'll start by identifying the different fans that there are, and then I'll explain how you can benefit from having fans versus, viewers and clicks or just general people around you, and what to look out for when dealing with fans as far as, you know, purchases, interactions, and making sure you're presenting yourself in the best light towards your fans. So first, what are the different types of fans? Well, in my experience, there's about, I'll say maybe 3 or 4 types of fans out there. So if you're a musician who's creating music and working in your city, you're doing gigs and things like that, I'll start with the casual fan. Casual fan would hear your name or hear about your works and things like that, and they may stop by to a show. Um, they may buy a ticket every once in a while, or they may buy a shirt or some merch here and there. But essentially, they support you from a distance, and they're pretty much your type of fan that you want to keep up consistency with them, so that way they have a reason to even check for you because they're just not completely invested into what you're doing. Then you have the second type of fan who has almost nothing bad to say about you, but they're not completely invested in you just yet. Where I would say I personally fit into this category more so. So, like, I have artists that I will support their music, download their stuff, stream their music, watch their music videos, even buy some merch. But you wouldn't see me at all their shows. I'm not dropping thousands of dollars on merch and things like that. That would be our third type of fan, which we usually call fanatics. Those people will come to your meet and greets. They're joining all your contests. They're coming to every show or damn near every show. And when they come to your merch table, they're buying big bulks of items just because they love and support what you do as an artist. And those 3 types of fans each come with their own personalities, uniqueness, maybe, you know, different things that interest them about, or the different things about you may interest them from one another. And they could be the similar type of fan. So, for example, you can have a casual fan who really loves hearing your songs on the radio, and you have another casual fan who would just buy your album every once in a while. So they're 2 casual fans, but they both function differently. Now, how you approach and maintain that relationship between those fans is a little different, but you can kind of formulate a system that'll help you do that. Most record labels understand this because of how record labels market and things like that. But today I'm talking to the independent musician who's watching this on YouTube. So the second fan and how they can differ from one another individually, are the ones like myself, where I say, the thing or artist that interests me today, I'm fully supporting their music, but I'm not entirely invested, meaning I'm not dropping like, hard earned small fortunes on this artist. But there's not artists, there's fans like myself where I'm pretty much downloading all your music, or I may buy merch here and there. And then on the other spectrum, there's a fan who will go to any show that you have or any gig or things like that that's near them. Those are two different fans that'll greatly support you, and they're generally like the step up from the casual fan. And then there's the third level, which I would call the fanatic, where they're trying to get every show. They're damn near tattooing your name on them. They're buying all your merch. They can recite all your lyrics. They know your resume from top to bottom. Those fans have levels to them as well. So you may have a fan like that, and then you may have another fan where it's almost impossible for you to do something wrong in their eyes. There's levels to that as well. So understanding that as an artist, what are some ways that you can tap into this information and use it to your benefit? Well, the first thing you have to understand is that a fan is somebody who has developed a relationship with either the artist or what the artist gives them. So most, let's say in hip hop, most relationships that fans have with an artist is typically through their personality, which is shown through social media, things like that. Or it could be the environment or kind of culture that the artist lives in. So to give you a real world example, I always go to Wiz Khalifa because he's kind of developed a universe as an artist. Um, so people who are interested in the same things, the hobbies and maybe, clothes, fashion, the way he talks, whatever it is, people who are similarly interested in those things culturally are going to have a relationship with those things. And therefore, if he provides that when he, appears, that's what they're going to be attracted to as a fan. And therefore, him being the source, they're attracted to him or his artwork. And understanding that as an artist, you can pretty much understand who your fans are. Now, a fan typically is going to look for something that benefits them. So that's important to know too. A lot of artists, we create and we make and we create just to make and create. We don't create for others. We don't create for the world or for the community. So it's kind of hard for general people to gravitate to what you're doing if your artwork is so individualized, or in other words, selfish. So now the next thing you want to realize is that the fan who's willing to put up any amount of money, I'm telling you from like 50 cents up, any amount of money, is a fan that you want to make sure is getting the best experience of your artwork. And you want to make sure you cultivate that into either, if you're a businessman, you want to cultivate that into more sales or just a long, healthy relationship with this person. Because you have to understand the relationship between artist and fan is one of consumer and creator. So you don't necessarily want to just take somebody's money and say thanks and then just leave them there. You want to make them feel like that purchase or that investment for them was extremely worth it, almost above their expectations in a sense. So I'll give myself as an example. I've learned that watching other independent artists when they release an album and things like that, when someone supports and buys an album, let's say from their website directly or things like that, and it's like $10 for an album, they'll give them the album, maybe some merch, maybe some stickers, maybe a ticket to a show, maybe an exclusive URL to a live stream or another download code for another album or things like that. They try to most independent artists and groups try to incentivize fans to jump in and invest more or feel like their investment is definitely worth it. And another thing that you can use to your benefit too is the information that these fans give you. The big thing today for most corporations and businesses is to collect data from their customers. But what does an artist need to do with this data? Well, for example, if you're on social media and your fans are buying up, your latest project and you're like, wow, this is doing really good, and you want to start doing live shows, information like where your fans live, like what state they live in, what kind of hobbies do they have, what kind of other artists do they listen to, what kind of movies do they watch. This kind of information can help you kind of determine who your fans are, what's attractive to them, and how you can keep this relationship positive. It's almost like dating in a sense, but dating in the sense that there is there's an investment being made here. So once you understand your customer and who they are and things like that, you can now think of new ways to provide them things that you know or can assure that they will want to invest in. So if you know your fans are into healthy living and things like that, they want to, maybe skincare or vitamins or just eating healthy foods and meals and things like that, you can kind of incorporate that into your artistry, as in you can sell water bottles with your branding on it. You can sell, or maybe you can partner with like a meals to go or meal delivery company and maybe get like a partnership kind of meal for your fans to come and work with them. Maybe you can do a vitamin supplement thing so you can help push those people to continue to do what they believe is to be healthy for them and still support you and your artwork at the same time. So maybe if they buy an album, you can point them to another company that you've partnered with to get them maybe a health bundle of supplements, or maybe Hello Fresh meals or things like that. And like I said, once you understand that information about your fans, it makes it so much easier for you to connect with them. It's so much easier for you to give them things that they invest in, because not every fan is into the same things, which is why it's very important that you take initiative to learn your fans and learn what they are and who they are. So let's say your fans are into motorcycle clubs and things like that. There's a lot of things in motorcycle clubs that motorcyclists will need, want, and love that you can tap into as an artist to give to them in order for them to feel like they want to support you with their hard-earned cash. So, what to look out for with your fans? Well, the first thing you want to make sure is that what you're giving your fans is worth the investment. So if you wouldn't pay for it at the price that you're setting for yourself, or if you wouldn't pay for your product at the price that you set it personally, you shouldn't do that for your fans either. Now, I understand the idea of capitalizing on the cost of what it takes to make a product or make an album and things like that. But you have to understand and find balance within the fact that many, many customers will not know you and will not want to spend their money. So with that comes the big hurdle of getting people to not necessarily be vulnerable to you, but you want them to be open and receptive to what you're offering. And if the first thing they see is a price that's out of their budget or some number that they just will not ever agree with paying, you've already kind of closed that door for them. So it's something, like I said, that just goes back to understanding your fans. The next thing I would say is keep an eye on your entitlement as an artist, and keep an eye on your entitlement as your fans speak. Because if you offer way more than you can give to your fans, their entitlement is going to be justifiably like huge. And on the other end of the spectrum, other than people's interest and eyes, and in some rare cases their money, you're not necessarily entitled to any of that as an artist. You have to earn all of that. So for for artists who are creating and they can't really tap into why they're not getting the visibility that they want, it's because you're not giving people something they want to look at. And it's very cut and dry, but the hard part is figuring out what they want to look at. And that's where you have to really tap into who your fan base is and be very interactive with your fan base. And I would say the last thing to think about is to focus on, when it comes to like interacting with your fan base, to focus on the consistency there. Because it's not that people always often say that fans and customers are fickle. It's not that they're fickle. It's just that there's so much stimuli today in the world that for you to focus on one thing would take away from the many other things that are trying to get your focus. So as an artist, and honestly as a business or a salesman, you're in competition with almost everything else in your fans' lives. So if you know your fan base is in the 30 to 45 range of maybe like live instrumental music fans and things like that, then you can kind of think, well, okay, this person's 30 to 45 years old. What's really going on in their life on average? They may have kids. They may work a job, maybe two jobs, sometimes three jobs. Some of them are business owners. Some of them are entrepreneurs. Uh, some of them have families. Some people have, you know, internal things like maybe health issues going on and things like that at that age. So once you understand on average what's going on with these people, then you can kind of understand where you sit as far as priority in their lives on average. And then you can then take it a step further to learn your fans and learn what they want and what they need in their lives and try to be of benefit to them. So just to keep it simple, that's all I have today for fans. And this is episode 25 of Musician Talks. And to celebrate the 25th episode, I want to show you guys a surprise. I'm going to pop it up here. This is the next album I'm working on called Libra. And this is the artwork right here. And the very next thing I want to show you is the track list. It's going to be a short track list, but I've been working on this album for about a year and a half. It's fully produced by me. I've done all the music, all the songwriting. I do all the mixing. And it'll be available on BandCamp first. And I want to see what you guys think about this artwork in the comments below. And what do you think would be on this album? So that's it. And that's all I have for you today. And be sure to like, share, subscribe. This was Musician Talks, episode 25 with DameSmiff. And that's all I have. Peace.